Two European nations are at war, a war where the words exchanged are mightier than actual weapons. You'd be familiar with these two leaders. One, a nationalist prime minister whose coalition came to power with a thumping majority, and her no-nonsense approach making the European Union uncomfortable. And the other, leading the largest nation in the European Union, promising a new era. Macron finds himself cornered thanks to a mountain of challenges staring at him. The Macron versus Meloni exchange has now taken a turn that's just more than indirect jibes. But why are the two even fighting in the Before we get into the details, let's look at Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's latest remarks.
Questo si chiama franco CFA. È la moneta coloniale che la Francia stampa per 14 nazioni africane, alle quali applica il signoraggio e in forza delle quali sfrutta le risorse di questa nazione.
Giorgia Meloni says that France exploits the resources of African nations. That is some serious talk by Meloni, whose disdain for France and Emmanuel Macron is growing by the day. With her latest remark, Meloni has hit out at France for the exploitation of African nations, that too on live television. And she doesn't stop there. Her concluding statement will make the theme of this tussle very clear.
Non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa. La soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di vivere di quello che hanno.
Meloni has made it clear that African nations have to be freed from the clutches of European nations like France, who continue to exploit them for their own benefit. Meloni's statement comes at a time when France and Italy are engaged in a tussle over migrants for the last few weeks. And it all began with Ocean Viking last month, a rescue ship carrying 237 migrants, including 57 children. The Ocean Viking ship, operated by a French NGO, was at sea for nearly 3 weeks earlier this month. This was because Italy denied permission for the migrants to enter their territory. Mind you, a large number of these migrants belong to poor African nations, the same nations that Meloni spoke of earlier. After Italy rejected these migrants, France eventually took the ship in and called out Italy's government for its, and I quote, inhumane anti-migrant stance. Italy, on its part, says it's been handling a majority of the migrants' influx single-handedly, something that should ideally be divided among all European nations. According to the EU's official data, as of 2020, 1.92 million people migrated to the EU. In 2021, asylum seekers came from around 140 countries, with 632,000 applications lodged the same year. In reply to Italy's rejection, France suspended a plan to take in 3,500 asylum seekers currently in Italy. Now the European Union has been forced to step in and dial down tensions and not embarrass the bloc any further. But the two leaders don't seem to be in any mood to slow down. Expect more such blows going forward. This is because there is a fundamental problem with Europe's approach on migrants. It is the fact that the bloc has no concrete policy. Moreover, it has proposed some conventions like this, that migrants should take shelter in the first nation upon entering Europe. Of course, this hasn't gone down well with nations like Italy, who are at the receiving end of these policies and call them unfair. So do you think the European Union will find a solution to this tussle?